Hey guys, my name is Max Convexity. Welcome to the Daily Covered Caller. Appreciate you guys being here this morning. Let's take a look at these Defiance and some of these Yield Max funds to see what's going on. We'll start with Triple QY. Okay, these guys sold options. They only received $144 for the options. Yesterday they received $200. The day before that, $220. In any event, the good news is right now they're only $7 in the money, so that's almost all profit. They're making about $1.5 million. Brings the earnings per share to -42 for the month. Dividend estimate is at $1.44, and that's in old shares. Actually, with the new shares, which I can't get used to, it's going to be $4.31 for a dividend. Would be the equivalent of $1.44. So just that's gigantic. I just can't. That's really cool. All right, so this one right here is JEPY. They trade SPX options. They sold their options for about half as much today versus yesterday, about 30 versus 60. The good news is, however, that I was just checking something. I got something messed up here. I'll fix that in a second. The good news is those options are out of the money right now, so it's all profit, which should be awesome, right? So 590,000 plus they made 1.2 million yesterday, so that brings them to 31 cents a share negative on the month. Dividend estimates at $1.41 for JEPY. That's incredible. $4.23 is what it really is, but it's $1.41 in the old share price. I mean, where the previous record was like 76 or something cents. So it's a double. It's doubled. That's one of the reasons these funds that do this are so great. The daily ones are better than the monthly ones, and I've always been saying that. And now we can see why, or we can see what they do that's so good. They monetize this. The monthly funds are missing all this. They're missing all this profit. Now, granted, they're really steady, and I mean, and they're good funds too. But anyway, okay. So now let's look over here at IWMY. So they sold options today. Volatility is settling down. They sold options for 17 today versus yesterday 24. The day before that 32. All right, well, that's fine. Their options they'd only have to buy them back for $7. They're only $7 in the money right now. They're trying to make about $1 million. They're making about 550 right now, 1,000. That makes them down 68 cents on the day. Dividend estimate is $1.86. And their previous high was $1.41. So that is equally insane right now. All right, USOY. What's going on with these guys? These guys have we're going to look at these guys graphically. These guys wrote the 75 strike option. They trade USO, which is an oil-based ETF, a commodity-based ETF. Well, so when oil's up, the price of this ETF is up. So that's the case today. And the price is over the max profit line or the strike price. So that's good news for this position. That means max profit right now. Now, and this expires at the end of the day. So great job, USO. So now let's look at Tesla. Okay, I didn't draw the profit boxes quite far enough, but you can see what it's doing. The profit boxes for crash, which is the red profit boxes, the inverse Tesla fund, the bearish Tesla fund, Tesla high yield fund, those options went in the money last week, but then they rolled down and out to this week. And so far, the price of Tesla has been traveling right about where max profit would be. So that side of the equation is looking good to me, the crash side of the equation. The Tesla side of the equation is also looking all right. All of their covered calls are full profit, but they're going to have a little issue with the NAV. Their NAV is going to be pulling back this week. So now let's go look at that in real time and see what's going on with that pairs trade right here. All right, well today it's up 1%, which is great. The crash side of it, like I was saying, is close to max profit, and it's nearly up 1% today. Crashes. The Tesla side is up 15 bips. So right now both sides are up. So that accounts for a little bit of money. However, the pairs trade since inception, if you traded this delta neutral pair, crash and Tesla together and kept them balanced, you'd be down about 8% right now. But that's the bad news. The good news is you'd have about a 20% yield so far. So, I mean, that's, you know, and we're looking at about 3 months. This trade's been alive. So, anyway, we'll keep an eye on this. But a few weeks ago, it was, you know, the pairs trade was down 15 and 20%, but it's been crawling out of the hole and it's only down 8%. I imagine it'll be back to even soon. We'll see. What's going to determine, you hear options traders talk about path dependency, and this strategy, playing both ETFs together, does have a path dependency. And the path dependency says that that strategy will do well as long as the path of the asset is in between the strikes and doesn't make wide moves above the bullish strikes or below the bearish strikes. So we'll see how it turns out. Keep watching this, and I watch it every day. All right, so now let's look at NVIDIA. They also have a bearish fund, but I don't think I have the profit boxes on there for this week. I'm sorry. My yield max coverage has gone downhill this week. I'll pick it back up. But anyway, that's NVIDIA, but that's fine right there. NVDY is the high yield fund. I mean, it'd be better if it was going up slowly, but at least it's going sideways and quit going down. The market turns around and goes back up. This will too, and so will NVDY, which is the high yield version of this. We'll look at the buffer report in a second, but let's check out Coinbase. Same story here. Covered calls look good. The asset price is going straight sideways. Let's check out MicroStrategies, MSTR. The high yield fund's name is MST, MSTY. Same thing on this. Covered calls look fine. The asset price is going straight sideways. Okay, so let's do this now. Let's look at the buffer report and see how some of these are doing. The new buffer report. All right, well, the benchmark isn't very changed today. Let's do this first. Let's look at the SPX. I don't think I just showed an index chart. Or we'll show the NASDAQ. All right. So here's the NASDAQ. And yeah, we didn't look at the profit boxes, but you can see they're right about the top line of the profit box. Great job, guys. All right. So now let's look at the S&P and see if it's the same boat. It is pretty close. All right. So now, pretty much the indexes are just kind of grinding to up slightly. I guess let's look at Russell, the third index, the smaller stocks. And it is also kind of grinding. It is literally grinding sideways. Okay, so now with that knowledge, let's go check out the old buffer report. Okay, so the benchmarks are, the benchmarks aren't doing anything. So it's a good day to see how the funds are doing. iSpy killing it. I still suspect that's something wrong with that. And I never did check it last night. I suspect that's a bad symbol or something. There's no way iSpy's up that much 2 days in a row. I'll look into that. Now, SPY-T, on the other hand, or XDTE can be. So can SVOL. So can SPY-I. I mean, these other ones I'm not disputing. SPY-T and JEPY lagging today. JEPY doesn't surprise me. It's built to lag, but SPY-T isn't. So we'll see. We'll check back at the end of the day. But XDT looking good. SVOL looking good, bouncing back strong. ZIVB bouncing back strong. FEPI bouncing back. Triple QI looking really good, outperforming the bench. Triple QT looking good. YMAX, they're all looking good. Everything's looking good. GPIX is down for some reason. I mean, I really don't see anything on here to be too concerned about. USOY looks really good, getting about all of its benchmarks upside. THTA having a nice bounce back day. The short volatility funds, there's 3 of them that I'm cover, ZIVB, THTA, and SVOL, are all bouncing back nicely. They were all the ones that were hit the worst when we had the volatility explosion the other day. I made a buffer report just for these guys right here, and I compared them to their benchmark and also to 2 regular funds, JEPY and FEPI, just for comparison purposes. And this is the video I've been working on for 3 days. I stayed up late again last night, and but I keep changing I keep making better technology. But this is the chart that goes with the video. But anyway, I'm real excited to produce this video. I'm going to shoot it as soon as I get off from here. So let's see what else is going on. Let's see what else is going on today. This one other thing too, as part of the daily covered caller. Something else I noticed. Look at these assets under management. You know, it was about $250 million about a month ago before this fund started losing a bunch. But actually, that's not true. It actually started losing a bunch mid-July. July 11th kind of started the losing streak. Okay, but anyway, at that point, it had 263. Okay, then it started losing big, just for whatever reason, and having big outsized losses. So then, but the assets don't really come out of it yet too much. Then it starts losing big the next month. Then the reverse split happens or is announced, or both of them. But I think this is when it happened right here. And after it happened, then more money came out. And so we've gone down from 260 to 200. So what's that, about a 20% decrease or something. Now I'm seeing that. Now I'll have 2 theories on that. Part of the reason is the reverse split and all the losses lately, all the trading losses. The other reason is triple QT. Money is going into triple QT, and likely some money's coming out of here to go into triple QT. Now, JEPY, let's look at their assets under management. They're at 100 million, but they were at 120 last month. You know, so same thing. They're off 20% on assets, most of it right after the split. Now let's look at IWMY. These guys have 123 now, but they did have about 145. So they're down 20. You know, they're down a little bit less. They're down more like 10%, but they're off as well. So I thought that was interesting to note. But I do also think money's going, is coming out of these funds, even IWMY, and going into triple QT and SPY-T, and probably also USOY, and probably also other funds that are not in the Defiance universe, to be honest. All right, guys. Well, I'll be back at the end of the day today. We'll have a weekly wrap up and see how this thing wrapped up, because it's been a crazy week. I want to see, make sure that we get everything wrapped up. So I'll be back about 3 or 3:30 my time, 4 or 4:30 most likely your time if you're on the East Coast, right? All right, guys. Hey, thank you for being here. I also want to remind you, please consider supporting the channel. The YouTube algorithm hasn't been that kind to me lately, and my monetization source from my AdSense revenue is way down. But anyway, I'm just going to start reminding people to consider supporting the channel every once in a while through PayPal. But in any event, I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a good day. And if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about or you want me to cover in these daily shows, put it in the comments. And I got a comment yesterday to cover beta weighting a portfolio. And I've read the comment, and I do have some content coming out on that soon. But put it in the comments if there's anything that I'm not covering that I need to be in these little daily shows. All right, guys. I appreciate you all. Have a good one.